Thank you so much for staying with us on the morning edition. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning. And of course, back in the studios right here, we are enjoying the way things are going. We sure hope you too are. Back here in the studio, we have a guest. Don't we now, Marian?
Yes, we do, of course. Our very own comrade IG Wala was always very, very glad to have him in the studio with us. As we now turn attention to the strong words there from anti-corruption to human rights activists, comrade IG Wala. His comments have sparked debate about the state of the nation, the frustration many Nigerians are expressing, and the best path forward at the time of growing economic and security concerns. He is live here in the studio with us to help us understand his stance, where he's coming from when you did make that comment. Now, good morning to you, comrade. Thank you for your time on the program this morning.
Yeah, good morning, Nigerians, and good morning, my sister. And bros, nice to see you again.
Oh, okay, good morning.
I like it, Barry. I'll be calling you bros now.
Yeah, he's my bros. He's a big bros.
Okay, let's get into the conversation now. The video has resonated with many Nigerians because it reflects, frustration that have been building for years. In your view, what is the biggest challenge facing the country currently?
Okay, I think it's not just insecurity, is leadership. That's the biggest of all challenges we're facing. It's just leadership. With good leadership, every other thing falls in place. Now, we all know the cry across Nigeria is just one. Yeah, the Constitution must actually seem to be working for the people, not for the few. The reason why people like us are actually determined to continue to speak is because we understand that the responsibility of those that are meant to govern, they are more like carried away. Now, why am I saying that? Because if you look at the situation, the insecurity situation alone, that is something that Nigerians should just wake up and begin to head straight to either the presidency or they head straight to the National Assembly, because these are the two places. But you can see activists instead of the entire people moving, do you know where people like us are heading to? We're heading to either courts or prison, because we're speaking, because we must continue to speak. In fact, many said, voila, you might be arrested. I say, yeah, I'm a comrade. I'm a doctor with blades. I don't fear blood. If calling for national civic duty, right? You see, if National Assembly is working, what we're going to get is contrary. People will not be on the street protesting if National Assembly is doing its job, because the constitutional oversight is that of National Assembly, which is supposed to stand for the people. So if people are frustrated, the National Assembly should wade in and begin to create that sense of belonging and responsibility to serve the people, to tell the people, we're here for you. You don't have to cry.
But why do we have to get to the point? You mentioned you're going to get arrested and you're ready to face that. We've seen that play out in the case of Shaw, where he says, I packed my bags and I'm ready to go to prison if I want to. Why do we have to resort to that? It's either you're arrested, you're sent to jail, to prison, or they come for you. Why do we have to get to that point?
Yes, it's because they don't like a civic thermometer that is used to register the temperature
Who are they?
of citizens.
Who are they?
The authorities, the states. The authority must be able to understand that protest is the thermometer that measures, that registers the temperature of the citizens. Now, the next thing is reforms, which is supposed to be the blueprint. Now, in the absence of all this, being active, being working for people, what we have, or what we should have, it's the engine which changes the mind. That's the revolution. And when we talk about revolution, we're talking about revolution for accounting, for accountability rather. So we are not getting this. So those who fear to talk about protests, meaning they don't like the thermometer, are the ones that actually try to criminalize protests, which are the states. So, sincerely speaking, it is timely that Nigerians understand the duty of every citizen, especially those who feel they can summon the courage, is for us to stand and speak collectively with one voice so that we can fix this country. If people are enjoying what is going on in the name of they are the leaders, they are the representatives, they are the senators, whether they make the law or they mar the laws, the most important thing, are we, that section of the Constitution that says, I think it's section 14, subsection 2, subsection B, that actually says the primary responsibility of every governance is to provide security and safety for that is the welfare and safety for the people. Are we getting that? That's the question. And you expect every citizen to just remain quiet? No.
Now, democracy is supposed to be a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. Right. Now, if the people get increasingly alienated, especially the youth, because they are the highest percentage of population that we have right now, it would then seem that their voices is almost like neglected without causing rancor, without moving into what we probably might call violence, so to speak. Isn't there a way the population can talk to their leaders? Because it's supposed to be a government of the people, by the people,
ideally,
and for.
Ideally. Yes. Now, you see, the problem is this. The democracy in the lecture hall and the democracy written in the books are different from what we obtain on the streets. Meaning, stepping down what you've learned or what the leaders have in their scripts there's a wide gap between that and that of the real people that are being governed in the name of democracy. Now, that literacy gap, right, is what creates that vacuum and that disconnect between the people, these young people you're talking about, and these people that are governing the citizens. So, in essence, what I'm trying to point out, to answer your question, I'm trying to let you see that, is it possible for us to bridge the gap? Unless the institutions are working for people, unless the MDAs are working. As beautiful as the Constitution is, right, is a document.
Exactly.
Can the document work for the people? The slogan, you just say, democracy is for the people, by the people, and whatever. Now, that slogan is beautiful when you pronounce it. But putting it to work, it takes the existence of MDAs, ministries, departments, and agencies, to live up to their expectations based on the blueprints, which are the policies, which are through reforming those policies so that they can impact on the lives of the citizens. This is where the argument is. And for media platforms like this, now we should be mindful when we say these things, we quote these things from whatever sources we have. Now, the most important thing is to actually X-ray, clinically put it to the context that these things can work for the people. You don't want me to believe that the Constitution is there for me, and when something happened to me, I feel vulnerable.
What are the indications that you would say that you point out to, or your pointers to say that the paperwork is not working for the people? There's a disconnect when you say the slogan, right? Barry said, it's democracy, it's for the people, it's by the people, right? What are some of the indications that you would say that the paperwork and the realities are actually not connected?
They are variants.
If you take the budget, for example, what does the budget translate to? Budget are figures, right? Which are meant to be monies appropriated for certain projects.
Exactly.
Isn't it? Now, in that context, tell me, in what manner can you justify that what has been proposed and appropriated has actually been funded or financed, right? And again, the projects AMAT are actually implemented. Now, I'm taking the budget because this might even look so simple compared to some of the reforms, right? But if from the budget alone, citizens are actually not connecting with the realities. Now, we heard through the media that so 60 something trillion is the budget for the year. And you follow the budget, you look at it down to the point where it reaches your community. And you wake up in the morning, instead of getting to see trucks approaching, the first news that will hit you is like a truck of bandits actually struck a school. Not truck that is delivering some of these items for the hospitals in our community. Rather, it is the bandits that are coming to take people, what belongs to the people, after killing them. Now, tell me, what other news am I going to hear in a platform like this, or from a platform like this, that talks about, yes, democracy is for who, by who, how? So, the reality around this is, for us to understand, in as much as we want democracy, we must also want to play our own role in ensuring that the democracy is working for us. Not just the civil education, but the action, right? Because one thing I believe so much, and we all believe, that the world reward action in every ramification. If you sit quiet without moving, you can't get down from this chair. No, so it is. Then the institutions that are graduating people like us, we should be able to connect the knowledge and where we're coming from, our communities. The little understanding we have of what the Constitution says, or what the democracy provides, we should be able to step it down to the common man using our local dialect. It's not for us to look good, and that is enough. Please.
But then, looking at the approach that the government have done, are you going to say in totality we haven't gotten, headway with the insecurity that you've highlighted in your comments, and so far you've been speaking as to governance, as to security? Would you say that so far we can't really give a score sheet or grade this government a good grade as regards to the approach taken to address all of these issues?
And maybe I should add to that. I'm sorry,
Yeah, it's fine.
Should we adopt protest? Should we adopt reform? Or should we adopt revolution in adopting or taking that route that we're talking about?
Thank you. She tried to ask if justifiably what the government is doing, it's okay. Then you are trying to actually get my own idea of the approach.
Yeah.
Because I have seen speaking for protest or acting on the protest ground. I have seen calling on calling on reforms. I've also, I don't mind, I'm behaving like a revolutionarist. I'm sure this is what informed.
Exactly.
Good. Now, to put it in a better context, let me say this. You see, the idea of government doing something, yeah, government is doing something. But can it continue to do something? Whereas the amounts of destruction, when you look at it, does not equate, does not even come close to the solution you're trying to provide. So would you just say you're doing something, even when you know that thing you're doing is not really affecting the people at the downtrodden? No, the point here is government is not doing the right thing. It might seem to be right from their own angle, but once the result is not saving lives, and once these bandits are coming more, or the insecurity is becoming bigger than the effort, it's obvious that whatever they're doing, they need to change. Now, how can that change? I'm going to come into what you ask. Which of the ways can we adopt? No. You see, the three, let's say the 3 points you try to showcase or try to relate with my own views. I say to you, we can't avoid protest under democracy, because it's more like you want a situation whereby citizens should just keep quiet without breathing, because that protest is a sign that this patient is alive. Because that's why I use the word thermometer, right? For the protest, meaning people must say something is not working for me. Can you help me? Can you listen to me? Have you been to the hospital, sir?
Yes.
Lately, when you try to walk through the corridor, you pass a room whereby you can hear a patient's voice shouting, and you just have to pass. This is what the government are doing, just pass. But in the case, because you pass, because you are also there, you came with your own problem.
Yeah.
So that patient there is raising his voice. So if you walk on the street in Abuja and you see people protesting, it's just like that same patient you had in that medical room. So what do? Doctors are there attending to, nurses are there attending to. In our own case, protests, we, the comrades, the activists, the advocates, we are all doctors and nurses in the civic hospital, where we make sure that every patient that approaches the building, we are there to take care of. So we have to deploy that thermometer to measure the temperature, which is the protest. Now, from there, the reform, it is actually a subject of who are at the right point where reforms can be implemented. The streets or the trenches cannot administer reforms, but it administers protest. So if you take reform, right, from that point of view and say, oh, citizens are crying because the insecurity is this, then you have to look at what is not working. And that is where reforms comes in. That is why the reforms, it's more like a blueprint. You have to dissect the blueprint based on the realities. Okay, sir, this insecurity crisis, when people talk about the remedies, the solutions, I sit down, I wonder if we truly understand what this is. Yeah, it was like the terrorists in the Northeast, it was this issue of Mohammed Yusuf, Boko Haram, then if you remember. But is it the same thing? No. The ISIS are here. When Mohammed Yusuf started, there was no any international terrorist organizations linking up with him. Now the same thing, the cattle rustling bandits and all that. Are we still talking about these same people? No. Think of what happened from Central Africa and from Libya, Central Africa. Now, think about what happened between the Sahel. Look at the clear picture of the military juntas that we have in 3 countries, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Look at that breakdown. Look at the withdrawal of American or Western troops through this axis. Now, if you take the African map, you look at, there's a red map, lines that cross that, which actually define the Sahel down to Eritrea. So if you're talking about the insecurity, sir, it is, when I was in primary school, I read a book. It's about love. A young man that has to really fight because he loves this woman. But you know what he was fighting? He has to fight an unknown demon, a spirit, that actually came to invade that lady. You know what he did? He has to leave his own village. He has to travel outside his own territory to go to one bush there and fight that demon, to kill that spirit of that demon before coming back here to win the war.
All right. We're pressed for time, comrade. Before we let you go, that's your camera right there.
Okay, thank you.
You have the chance to speak to the president in 30 seconds. If possibly, he's 3 years in office now, we celebrated the other day, and here we are looking to re-elect him if the people do so. You're talking to the president right now. What is your message to him? What can he do differently? And what is your message to him? So far he's been in office, and if he's going to come back, what can he do differently?
Sincerely?
In 30 seconds.
Sincerely?
Yes, sincerely. That's the president.
Mr. President, sir, sincerely speaking, you've lost it. It's too late for you. Because, I'm not saying this because I don't like you. I love Tinubu that I know. But sincerely speaking, you and your team have lost that grip from time. So it's too late between now and election. If you can quietly step down, honorably, Nigeria can be fixed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Comrade IG Wala, for your time on the program this morning. We do hope that when we come knocking, you'll be back in the studio to talk to us more on the governance.
Is it over? This brief? My people, thank you. Thank you for watching.
Conversation. Thank you for being part of the program this morning.
Thank you.
I guess that's how much you can take on the program this morning, Barry. We go on a quick break. When we come back, it's going to be a wrap on the morning edition. Don't go nowhere. Something is up our sleeve. We'll be right back.